We're going to be learning about the synapsis of chromosomes and meiosis. Specifically, during prophase 1, synapsis takes place and allows the matching up of homologs to allow for chromosomal crossover. To understand this, we're going to look at how gametes are formed within an individual, and we're going to look at two individual examples. So here we can see in meiosis that genetic material has accumulated and is now ready to divide. This is going to be producing gametes, and that's what we can see here. Individual 1, we have these two homologs, which are paracentrically inverse. We can see that because I, J, and K plus the centromere are inverse of each other. If we try to pair these, there's not maximal pairing, and we can see that if we do a loop instead of having it like this, we can maximize pairing and produce the most viable gametes. So let's say we have a crossover between J and K. The crossover is actually going to affect about 50% of the gametes. So in this example, if we're doing 4 gametes, it's going to affect 2. So here we're going to look at the first gamete, and it's actually not going to be affected by the crossover, and this gamete is going to be viable because it has one of every ingredient, so we can make a successful mug cake. So the second gamete that we're going to look at is also not going to be affected by the crossover, and so this gamete is going to also be viable, and it's going to be the same makeup of the first one. The third gamete that we're going to look at is going to be affected by the crossover, and you can see right here it's going to cross over to the other and go back around from where it came from. This actually causes 2 copies of the M and L and leaves out H and G, which means it's not a viable gamete. The last gamete is also going to be affected by the crossover right about here, and so it's going to have 2 copies of H and G and no copies of M and L, which means it cannot make a successful mug cake. This individual has 50% viable and 50% not viable gametes. This just means that there are some missing or too much of one ingredient and it cannot make a successful mug cake, much like how it happens in meiosis. We're going to look at another example for individual 2, so you can see these are the homologs, and they're actually the same thing, just reversed. So in this orientation, they cannot match up very well, but if we were to flip the bottom chromosome, it actually pairs up quite nicely. So let's say that we have a crossover again at J and K. We can see that in this, the crossover actually does affect 2 of the gametes, but because the matchups are actually perfect, all of the gametes are going to be viable. So we can see here that all of the gametes are the same orientation, and so this means that they all can make a perfect mug cake. In terms of fitness, individual 1 produced 50% viable gametes, and individual 2 produced 100% viable gametes. Because of this, we can say that individual 2 is more fit. I hope this helps you understand how synapsis and chromosomes and crossing over can affect the viability of gametes. Thank you!